on the flip side, with good skill, costs go down. I'll tell you, for example, in the building industry in Kenya, research has shown that between 7 and 11% goes to wastage due to poor quality, time overruns. It's because we don't have the good skills. And that's why you find some of these foreigners, when they compete with us, they're able to leverage on that they have good skills and they minimize the wastage. And on average, you see that their tenders are always 5-10% lower than ours. Why? It's because they have leveraged on the fact that they are able to avoid wastage. So here you have a guy you brought, you give him some cement to do a wall for you. You come tomorrow and demolish it. Who goes to loss? It is you, the developer. And so what we are saying is that with good skills, with very good people, you improve the quality, you improve the time delivery, and the overall picture is that the costs come down. And that's how we should look at it. We invest in the skills and we bring down the cost of construction. As long as we don't invest in the skills, the cost will only be stuck in a vicious cycle where it's like going to a mechanic who doesn't know what he's doing with your car. My friend, you'll pay him 1,000 bob over and over and over 10 times. You better pay the guy who knows 5,000 and gets the work done. Gets it done. So we should look at that kind of scenario.
Yeah. Just as we wind up, Daniel, we've seen where we are in terms of construction, and infrastructure is one of those key things that is top of agenda for the government. So there are going to be a lot of infrastructure projects. So I mean, you had a meeting yesterday where I think the CS was looking at what's going to happen in the second half of this year. Just looking at what's there and your mandate as the National Construction Authority. What's the vision for the construction industry in Kenya?
I believe that this industry will be a game changer. Yeah. Even before we are very organized, we are already contributing 7% of GDP. Even before we organize our labor, even before we train our youth, we are already contributing 11% of employment in this country. Now, we've not rolled out the massive projects. I can tell you that once we roll out these projects in infrastructure, the Road 10,000 project, for example, the annuity program, everyone will be busy. The bankers will be busy financing. The industries will be busy supplying cement, tiles, paint. Our young people will be busy working. And so the forecast is very bright for the industry. And this is the industry that will ensure that this country attains a middle level status by 2030. Because it is the backbone of development. The world all over. In fact, it's only yesterday I was learning that, I've heard it before, but I learned from Engineer Kamau that even in Japan, tourism is under the Ministry of Infrastructure. I know for sure that in countries like Singapore, it is infrastructure that drives tourism. So the other sectors will hinge on
what is happening on the
high development that we are looking forward to. Look at energy costs. If they come down, then we have industrialization. And already there's a big effort in ensuring that costs of energy come down. That is still part of infrastructure. Yeah. Waterways, recreation facilities, all these are hinged on infrastructure. So the industry has a very bright future, but we must invest in the basics. That means training and regulation, so that we have quality and we've got people who are skilled to undertake some of these projects.
All right. Thank you very much. That has been architect Daniel Manduku, the Executive Director and Registrar of Contractors from the National Construction Authority, just laying out the state of Kenya's construction industry and just telling us where we need to be. In fact, training artisans to participate in this construction industry cannot be overemphasized, and actually just ensuring that legislation talks to one another. From those 11, perhaps we can get 2 that actually talk to one another and ensure that oversight is adhered to, and that construction in this country goes off in the right direction. Now we take a short commercial break, but don't go too far. Michael and Sophia will be back with more on Morning Express.